Question 92. Which of the following are attributes that determine the cost of on-demand EC2 instance? Select 3 options. And the options are A. Instance type, B. Operating system, C. Reason, D. Edge location. And the correct answers are option A. Instance type, B. Operating system, and option C. Reason. Explanation. The key factors that influence AWS EC2 pricing are as follows. 1. Reason. 2. Purchasing options. 3. Usage duration. 4. Instance size. 5. Instance type and generation. 6. Processor optimization and use of burst. 7. Use of elastic graphics and elastic inference. 8. Software stack. 9. Tenancy type. Option D is incorrect. Edge location is a CloudFront terminology. It will not impact EC2 cost. Next question. A company is looking for AWS storage for their archived data. Their top priority is low storage cost. Since data is rarely retrieved, a retrieval time of 12 to 14 hours is acceptable. What is the most suitable storage option for them? And the options are A. Amazon S3 Glacier, B. S3 Glacier Deep Archive, C. Amazon EBS Volumes, D. AWS EFS. And the correct answer is option B. S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Explanation. S3 Glacier Deep Archive offers the lowest cost storage in the cloud at prices lower than storing and maintaining data in on-premises magnetic tape libraries or archiving data off-site expense or data archiving offerings, enabling you to select the optimal storage class based on storage and retrieval cost and retrieval times. S3 Glacier Deep Archive offers low-cost storage and retrieval time doesn't matter for the company. If the question asks for last retrieval time, then S3 Glacier would be correct. S3 Glacier Deep Archive for archiving long-term backup cycle data that might infrequently need to be restored within 12 hours. Option A is incorrect because S3 Glacier is not cheaper than S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Options C and D are incorrect because they are not suitable for data archive in faster retrieval. Next question. What are the characteristics of Amazon S3? Select 2 options. And the options are A. S3 allows you to store objects of virtually unlimited size. B. S3 allows you to store virtually unlimited amounts of data. C. S3 should be used to host a relational database. D. Objects are directly accessible via a URL. And the answers are option B. S3 allows you to store virtually unlimited amounts of data. And D. Objects are directly accessible via a URL. Explanation. Each object does have a limitation in S3, but you can store virtually unlimited amounts of data. Also, each object gets a directly accessible URL. Option A is incorrect. S3 has storage limits. Object size limit on S3 is 5 TB. Option C is incorrect. S3 doesn't use a relational database. Next question. Which AWS service provides a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides fast and predictable performance with seamless scalability? And the options are A. AWS RDS, B. DynamoDB, C. AWS Redshift, D. AWS Lake Formation. And the correct answer is option B. DynamoDB. Explanation. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed serverless key-value NoSQL database designed to run high-performance applications at any scale. DynamoDB offers built-in security, continuous backups, automated multi-region replication, in-memory caching, and data export tools. Option A is incorrect. Amazon Relational Database Service is a managed SQL database service provided by Amazon Web Services. Amazon RDS supports an array of database engines to store and organize data. Option C is incorrect. Amazon Redshift is a fully managed data warehouse service in the cloud. Option D is incorrect. AWS Lake Formation is the service that makes it easy to set up a secure data lake in days. A data lake is a centralized, curated, and secured repository that stores all your data, both in its original form and prepared for analysis. A data lake lets you break down data silos and combine different types of analytics to gain insights and guide better business decisions. Next question. In the AWS Billing and Management Service, which tool will allow the user to graphically visualize billing and uses over time, particularly monthly running cost? And the options are A. AWS Bills, B. AWS Cost Explorer, C. AWS Reports, D. AWS Budgets. And the correct answer is option B. AWS Cost Explorer. Explanation. AWS Cost Explorer allows the user to generate a graphical representation of their billing and uses over time. Option A is incorrect because AWS Bills will list the historical cost that would have been incurred over the past month with granular options. The tool will not give the graphical visualization as specified in the question. Option C is incorrect because AWS Reports will give a composite overview of cost and uses. The tool gives a granular perspective of uses and billing but without a graphical output. Option D is incorrect because AWS Budgets will give the user the status of user set budgets and provide forecast of estimated cost. The tool will not give a graphical representation of the data. Next question. A company is deploying a 3-tier, highly available web application in AWS. Which service provides durable storage for static content for the web tier? And the options are A. Amazon EBS Volume, B. Amazon S3, C. Amazon EC2 Instance Store, D. Amazon Elasticsearch. And the correct answer is option B. Amazon S3. Explanation. Amazon S3 is the default storage service that provides durable storage for all static content. Amazon Simple Storage Service is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. Option A is incorrect because Amazon EBS Volume is a block-level storage device. The question asks for storage that will be helpful for the high availability of web applications, but this storage device is only be attached to EC2 instances. Option C is incorrect because the instance store is ideal for temporary storage because the data stored in instance store volumes is not persistent through instance stops, terminations, or hardware failures. Option D is incorrect. Amazon Elasticsearch Service is a managed service that makes it easy to deploy, operate, and scale Elasticsearch in the AWS cloud. Elasticsearch is a popular open source search and analytics engine for use cases such as log analytics, real-time application monitoring, and clickstream analytics. Next question. An AWS consulting company normally creates the same set of resources for their clients. Basically, they are looking for a way to build templates that can be reused to deploy resources to the various AWS accounts owned by their clients. It is also important to make sure that your team has control over the infrastructure. What AWS service can help with this requirement? And the options are A. AWS ECS, B. AWS OpsWorks, C. Amazon EKS, D. AWS CloudFormation. And the correct answer is option D. AWS CloudFormation. Explanation. As per AWS documentation, AWS CloudFormation is a service that helps you model and set up your AWS resources so that you can spend less time managing those resources and more time focusing on your applications that run in AWS. You create a template that describes all the AWS resources that you want like Amazon EC2 instances or Amazon RDS DB instances. And CloudFormation takes care of provisioning and configuring those resources for you. Options A and C are incorrect. AWS ECS and EKS are basically container management technologies. They provide on-demand, right-sized compute capacity for containers. Option B is incorrect because AWS OpsWorks is a configuration management service that helps you configure and operate applications in a cloud enterprise by using Puppet or Chef. Next question. Which AWS service allows you to adjust the number of resources based on the traffic pattern? And the options are A. AWS ELB, B. AWS Autoscaling, C. AWS CloudFront, D. AWS CloudWatch. And the correct answer is option B. AWS Autoscaling. Explanation. AWS Autoscaling monitors your applications and automatically adjusts capacity to maintain steady, predictable performance at the lowest possible cost. Using AWS Autoscaling, it's easy to set up application scaling for multiple resources across multiple services in minutes. Option A is incorrect. Elastic load balancing automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets and virtual appliances in one or more availability zones. Option C is incorrect. Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network operated by Amazon Web Services. Content delivery networks provide a globally distributed network of proxy servers that cache content such as web videos or other bulky media more locally to consumers, thus improving access speed for downloading the content. Option D is incorrect. Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring and management service that provides data and actionable insights for AWS, hybrid and on-premises applications and infrastructure resources. Next question. Which EFS file system can provide some microseconds latency for read operations? And the options are A. Standard IA storage class with general purpose performance mode, B. Standard storage class with max IO performance mode, C. One zone storage class with general purpose performance mode, D. One zone storage class with max IO performance mode. And the correct answer is option C. One zone storage class with general purpose performance mode. Explanation. For read operations, Amazon EFS one zone and standard storage classes with general purpose performance mode provide some millisecond latency. With standard storage class with max IO, performance mode read latency is a milliseconds, but customers get higher IOPS for both read and write operations. Option A is incorrect, as Amazon EFS standard infrequent access storage class with general purpose performance mode supports double-digit milliseconds latency for read operations. Option B is incorrect, as with standard storage class with max IO performance mode supports milliseconds of latency with higher IOPS for both read and write operations. Option D is incorrect, as this is an invalid option. One zone storage class always uses general purpose performance mode. Next question. A company hosted its long-running critical application on a set of EC2 instances. The company hired a third-party provider to revise the infrastructure and ensure that its infrastructure is cost-effective in the long term. More than 100 EC2 instances are up and running all the time to support the business operation. What can you do to lower the cost? And the options are A. Use on-demand instances, B. Use spot instances, C. Request stop block instances, D. Use reserved instances. And the correct answer is option D. Use reserved instances. Explanation. When you have instances that will be used continuously and throughout the year, the best option is to buy reserved instances. By buying reserved instances, you actually allocate an instance for the entire year or the duration you specify with reduced cost. Option A is incorrect. On-demand instances are expensive compared to reserved instances. Option B and C are incorrect. Spot instances are not an ideal solution for long-running application hosting. Spot blocks allow you to request Amazon EC2 spot instances for 1 to 6 hours at a time to avoid being interrupted, but this is also not ideal for long-term uses. Next question. A startup firm is planning to migrate its on-premise application. Their goal was to rapidly deploy and manage applications in the AWS cloud without having to learn about the infrastructure that runs those applications. Also wants to automate deployment and set up auto-scaling. Additionally, they will set up a database along with the application. Which AWS solution would be the easiest to meet these requirements? And the options are A. AWS Elastic Beanstalk, B. AWS ECS, C. AWS Code Pipeline, D. AWS Code Build. And the correct answer is option A. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Explanation. The Elastic Beanstalk is an easy-to-use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services. With Elastic Beanstalk, you can quickly deploy and manage applications in the AWS cloud without having to learn about the infrastructure that runs those applications. Elastic Beanstalk reduces management complexity without restricting choice or control. You simply upload your application and Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the details of capacity provisioning, load balancing, scaling, and application health monitoring. Elastic Beanstalk supports applications developed in Go, Java, Net, Node.js, PHP, Python, and Ruby. When you deploy an application, Elastic Beanstalk builds the selected supported platform version and provisions one or more AWS resources, such as Amazon EC2 instances, to run your application. Usually, Elastic Beanstalk will be the right answer if the question has a reference like easy management and deployment. Options C and D are incorrect because code build used to build the application and pipeline deploy the application to different environments, not suitable for the scenario explained in the question. Option B is incorrect because Elastic Beanstalk is the easiest compared to ECS. Next question. Which of the following statements about CloudFront is true? Select 3 options. And the options are A. CloudFront can catch a dynamic content. B. CloudFront allows users to enable or disable logging. C. CloudFront delivers your content through a worldwide network of data centers called edge locations. D. CloudFront cannot use ELB as their origin server. And the answers are A. CloudFront can catch a dynamic content. B. CloudFront allows users to enable or disable logging. And option C. CloudFront delivers your content through a worldwide network of data centers called edge locations. Explanation. Option A is correct. CloudFront can catch the dynamic content. Option B is correct. Amazon CloudFront provides different kinds of logging. You can log the requests that come to your CloudFront distributions, or you can log the CloudFront service activity in your AWS account. Option C is correct. This is a true statement. CloudFront delivers your content through edge locations. Option D is incorrect. CloudFront has been opened to use origin servers of your choice that can be S3 or a custom origin like EC2, ELB, etc. Option E is incorrect. CloudFront has the ability to customize content at the edge location before delivering it to its users. Next question. Your company is planning to host a financial application on the AWS cloud. DDoS attacks pose a major security concern for them. Which of the following services can help mitigate this? And the options are A. CloudFront, B. AWS Shield, C. AWS Security Groups, D. AWS NACL. And the correct answers are option A. CloudFront and option B. AWS Shield. Explanation. AWS offers globally distributed, high network bandwidth and resilient services that, when used in conjunction with application-specific strategies, are key to mitigating DDoS attacks. For more information on how to leverage each of these services and details on how their various features help protect against DDoS attacks, see the white paper AWS Best Practices for DDoS Resiliency. AWS Shield. AWS Shield is a managed DDoS protection service that is available in two tiers, standard and advanced. AWS Shield standard applies always-on detection and inline mitigation techniques, such as deterministic packet filtering and priority-based traffic shaping, to minimize application downtime and latency. AWS Shield standard is included automatically and transparently to your Elastic Load Balancing load balancers, Amazon CloudFront distributions, and Amazon Route 53 resources at no additional cost. When you use these services that include AWS Shield standard, you receive comprehensive availability protection against all non-infrastructure layer attacks. Customers who have the technical expertise to manage their own monitoring and mitigation of application layer attacks can use AWS Shield together with AWS WAF rules to create a comprehensive DDoS attack mitigation strategy. Amazon CloudFront. Amazon CloudFront distributes traffic across multiple edge locations and filters requests to ensure that only valid HTTPS requests will be forwarded to backend host. CloudFront also supports geo-blocking, which you can use to prevent requests from particular geographic locations from being served. Option C is incorrect. Security group cannot defend the DDoS attacks. It is used to control inside AWS resource access. A security group acts as a virtual firewall, controlling the traffic that is allowed to reach and leave the resources that it is associated with. Option D is incorrect. A network access control list is an optional layer of security for your VPC that acts as a firewall for controlling traffic in and out of none or more subnets. Question 105. A team conducting research in remote locations without internet access. The team plans to use Amazon services for storage. They accumulate petabytes of information. Which service is most suitable for transferring petabytes of information? And the options are A. Amazon S3, B. Amazon Elastic Block Store, C. Amazon S3 Glacier, D. AWS Snowball, and the correct answer is option D, AWS Snowball. Explanation. The AWS Snowball service uses physical storage devices to transfer large amounts of data between Amazon Simple Storage Service and your on-site data storage location at faster than internet speeds. By working with AWS Snowball, you can save time and money. Snowball provides powerful interfaces that you can use to create jobs, track data, and track your job's status through to completion. Snowball devices are physically rugged devices protected by the AWS Key Management Service. They secure and protect your data in transit. Option A is incorrect because Amazon S3 is the most suitable object storage when there is internet connectivity. In this scenario, there is none. Option B is incorrect because Amazon ABS provides block-level storage volumes suitable for operating systems, database instances, and application. For the research team to store data to detached EBS volumes, they would need internet connectivity. In this scenario, the remote location does not have connectivity. Option C is incorrect because S3 Glacier is used for infrequent access, not uses. It is unsuitable for this scenario. Next question. Which of the following AWS services use serverless technology? Select two options. And the options are A. DynamoDB, B. AWS OpenSearch, C. Simple Storage Service, D. AWS Autoscaling. And the correct answers are option A. DynamoDB and C. Simple Storage Service. Explanation. The simple storage service and DynamoDB are services where you don't need to manage the underlying infrastructure. Options B and D are incorrect. They are not considered serverless technologies. Next question. Which disaster recovery mechanism has the highest possible downtime? And the options are A. Pilot Light, B. Warm Standby, C. Multi-Site, D. Backup and Restore. And the correct answer is option D. Backup and Restore. Explanation. The below snapshot from the AWS documentation shows the spectrum of the disaster recovery methods. Next question. Your company plans to set up a web-based application on AWS. Users from around the world will need access to the website. You have to ensure that users around the world are able to use the web application seamlessly. Which of the following AWS services should be part of the architecture? And the options are A. AWS S3, B. AWS ECS, C. AWS CloudFront, D. AWS EFS. And the correct answer is option C. AWS CloudFront. Explanation. Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network offered by Amazon Web Services. Content delivery network provide a globally distributed network of proxy servers that cache content such as web videos or other bulky media more locally to consumers, thus improving access speed for downloading the content. Option A is incorrect. S3 can be used to host the website, but distributing the web content around the world needs CloudFront. Option B is incorrect. Amazon Elastic Container Service is a highly scalable, high-performance container management service that supports Docker containers and allows you to easily run applications on a managed cluster of Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances. Option D is incorrect. Amazon EFS is a cloud-based file storage service which can be accessed by 1 to thousands of EC2 instances from multiple AZs concurrently. Next question. An application requires a highly available relational database with an initial storage capacity of 8 TB. The database will grow by 8 GB every day. To support expected traffic, at least 8 read replicas will be required to handle database reads. Which option will meet these requirements? And the options are A. Amazon DynamoDB, B. Amazon S3, C. Amazon Aurora, D. Amazon Redshift. And the correct answer is option C. Amazon Aurora. Explanation. Amazon Aurora is up to 5 times faster than standard MySQL databases and 3 times faster than standard PostgreSQL databases. It provides the security, availability, and reliability of commercial databases at 1/10 of the cost. Amazon Aurora is fully managed by Amazon Relational Database Service, which automates time-consuming administration tasks like hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and backups. Amazon Aurora features a distributed, fault-tolerant, self-healing storage system that auto-scales up to 64 TB per database instance. It delivers high performance and availability with up to 50 low latency read replicas, point-in-time recovery, continuous backup to Amazon S3, and replication across 3 availability zones. Option A is incorrect. Amazon DynamoDB is not a relational database. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed, serverless, key-value NoSQL database. DynamoDB offers built-in security, continuous backups, automated multi-region replication, in-memory caching, and data export tools. Option B is incorrect. S3 is an object storage. Option D is incorrect. Amazon Redshift is a fully managed data warehouse service in the cloud. You can start with just a few hundred gigabytes of data and scale to a petabyte or more. This enables you to use your data to acquire new insights for your business and customers. Next question. The security policy of an organization requires an application to encrypt data before writing it to the disk. Which solution should the organization use to meet this requirement? And the options are A. AWS KMS API, B. AWS Certificate Manager, C. AWS Security Token Service, D. IAM Access Key. And the correct answer is option A. AWS KMS API. Explanation. AWS Key Management Service is a managed service that makes it easy for you to create and control the encryption keys used to encrypt your data. AWS KMS is integrated with other AWS services, including Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Elastic Transcoder, Amazon Workmail, Amazon Relational Database Service, and others to make it simple to encrypt your data with encryption keys that you manage. Option B is incorrect. The AWS Certificate Manager can be used to generate SSL certificates to encrypt traffic in transit, but not at rest. Option C is incorrect. AWS Security Token Service is used for issuing tokens while using the API gateway for traffic in transit. Option D is incorrect. IAM is used for providing secure access to AWS resources. Next question. Your company plans to offload some batch processing workloads to AWS. These jobs can be interrupted and resumed at any time. For this purpose, which of the following instance types would be the most cost effective? And the options are A. On-demand instance, B. Spot instance, C. Reserved instances, D. Partial upfront reserved instances. And the correct answer is option B. Spot instance. Explanation. Spot instances are a cost-effective choice if you can be flexible about when your applications run and if your applications can be interrupted. For example, spot instances are well suited for data analysis, batch jobs, background processing, and optional tasks. Option A is incorrect. On-demand instances are not cost-effective. Option C is incorrect. Full upfront reserved instance is the better choice than on-demand and partial upfront reserved. But since the usage is flexible, you don't need to reserve an instance. The spot is a better option for batch jobs and flexible use cases. Option D is incorrect. Same as option C. Partial upfront reserved instance is not cost-effective. Next question. Your company is building container-based applications. Currently, they are using Kubernetes for their on-premises Docker orchestration. Now, they wanted to migrate the workload to AWS without having to manage the orchestration service infrastructure. Which of the following could be used for this purpose? And the options are A. AWS Elastic Beanstalk, B. AWS ECS, C. AWS EC2, D. Amazon EKS. And the correct answer is option D. Amazon EKS. Explanation. Amazon EKS integrates Kubernetes with AWS Fargate by using controllers that are built by AWS using the upstream extensible model provided by Kubernetes. These controllers run as part of the Amazon EKS managed Kubernetes control plane and are responsible for scheduling native Kubernetes pods onto Fargate. Option A is incorrect. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an easy-to-use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services developed with Java, Net, PHP, Node, JS, Python, Ruby, Go, and Docker on familiar servers such as Apache, Nginx, Passenger, and IIS. Beanstalk can not be used to migrate Kubernetes workload. Option B is incorrect. You have to manage Kubernetes infrastructure. EC2 will add maintenance overhead for the company. Option C is incorrect. This would add maintenance overhead for the company, and the question mentions that the company doesn't want to manage the infrastructure. Next question. You are asked to investigate recent activities resulting in the deletion of resources in an AWS account. Which of the following services would be able to capture the API activities? And the options are A. AWS CloudWatch, B. Amazon Inspector, C. AWS Guard Duty, D. AWS Cloud Trail, and the correct answer is option D. AWS Cloud Trail. Explanation. AWS Cloud Trail is an AWS service that helps you enable governance, compliance, and operational and risk auditing of your AWS account. Actions taken by a user, role, or an AWS service are recorded as events in Cloud Trail. Events include actions taken in the AWS Management Console, AWS Command Line Interface, and AWS SDKs and APIs. Visibility into your AWS account activity is a key aspect of security and operational best practices. You can use CloudTrail to view, search, download, archive, analyze, and respond to account activity across your AWS infrastructure. You can identify who or what took which action, what resources were acted upon, when the event occurred, and other details to help you analyze and respond to activity in your AWS account. Optionally, you can enable AWS CloudTrail Insights on a trail to help you identify and respond to unusual activity. Option A is incorrect. CloudWatch collects monitoring and operational data in the form of logs, metrics, and events and visualizes it using automated dashboards so you can get a unified view of your AWS resources, applications, and services that run on AWS and on-premises. Option B is incorrect. Amazon Inspector is an automated vulnerability management service that continually scans AWS workloads for software vulnerabilities and unintended network exposure. Option C is incorrect. Amazon Guard Duty is a threat detection service that continuously monitors your AWS accounts and workloads for malicious activity and delivers detailed security findings for visibility and remediation. Next question. Which of the below statement is correct regarding AWS global infrastructure? And the options are A. Each AWS region has multiple availability zones. B. Many AWS regions have single availability zone. C. Availability zones are also known as AWS local zones. D. To provide high availability, AWS Management Console and Control Plane are isolated to a single region. And the correct answer is option A. Each AWS region has multiple availability zones. Explanation. The statement is correct. AWS region has multiple availability zones. Option B is incorrect. AWS region consists of availability zones. Option C is incorrect. Availability zones and AWS local zones are different. Option D is incorrect. AWS Management Console and Control Plane utilize multi-AZs and are distributed across the AWS regions. Next question. The deployment cycle for your on-premise application was around 3 to 4 weeks. When monolithic application was redesigned as microservices, they can be deployed on AWS Cloud within 2 to 3 days. In this case, how does moving to the AWS Cloud benefit you? And the options are A. Improved elasticity, B. Improved flexibility, C. Improved agility, D. Improved resilience. And the correct answer is option C. Improved agility. Explanation. Using an agile environment provided by AWS Cloud, you can release application features much faster than a traditional on-premise environment. Option A is incorrect. Elasticity is the ability to scale resources on demand whenever there is an increase in load on the existing infrastructure. This value proposition will benefit in substantial cost savings, where I need not have to guess my capacity upfront. Option B is incorrect. Flexibility is the ability to utilize a broad range of products depending on the application and infrastructure demands. For example, there are a broad range of EC2 instance pricing models ranging from on-demand instances to reserved instances to spot instances, and EC2 instance types like general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized. This will help with low or no cost entries into the AWS cloud. Option D is incorrect. Operational resiliency results in the improvement of defined SLAs and reducing unplanned outages that would result in downtime. The features of high availability, fault tolerance gives rise to a resilient system. Next question. Which of the following could be used to deploy popular technologies on AWS according to AWS best practices? Which would help you to reduce manual procedures to just a few steps so that you can build and start using your AWS environment within minutes? And the options are A. AWS Elastic Beanstalk, B. AWS OpsWorks, C. AWS Quick Starts, D. AWS Cloud Formation. And the correct answer is option C, AWS Quick Starts. Explanation. Quick Starts are automated reference deployments built by Amazon Web Services solutions architects and AWS partners. You can reduce hundreds of manual procedures to just a few steps so that you can build and start using your environment within minutes. Option A is incorrect. AWS Elastic Beanstalk helps in web applications and services scaling and deployment. However, we need to provide the code. Option B is incorrect. AIMD is specifically for Chef and Puppet. AWS OpsWorks helps facilitate managed instances of Chef and Puppet. Option D is incorrect. CloudFormation automates provisioning and updating your infrastructure in a safe and controlled manner. Next question. A developer wants to migrate his Git repositories to AWS and keep his source code secure. Which AWS service can the developer use? And the options are A. AWS CodeStar, B. Amazon Code Guru, C. AWS Code Pipeline, D. AWS Code Commit. And the correct answer is option D, AWS Code Commit. Explanation. AWS Code Commit helps in hosting Git-based repository securely. AWS Code Commit is a fully managed service and provides source control services. Option A is incorrect. AWS CodeStar is a cloud-based AWS service that helps in swift and quick development and building and deploying applications in AWS. Option B is incorrect. Amazon Code Guru is an ML-powered development tool that provides code quality improvement recommendations. Option C is incorrect. AWS Code Pipeline is a fully managed workflow management tool that facilitates automation of various phases of the release process. Next question. Your company stores its files in Amazon S3. These files are not frequently accessed. Nevertheless, if data is requested within 6 months, it must be available immediately. The data must be preserved for historical purposes after 6 months. What is the best S3 storage class lifecycle available with the lowest possible cost? And the options are A. Store data for the first 6 months in S3 standard and move data to Glacier after that. B. Store data the first 6 months in S3 1 zone, IA, and move data to Glacier after that. C. Store data the first 6 months in S3 standard IA and move data to Glacier after that. D. Store data in Glacier and use expedited retrieval for accessing data immediately. And the correct answer is option B. Store data the first 6 months in S3 1 zone IA and move data to Glacier after that. Explanation. As explained in the question, the data is infrequently accessed for the first 6 months and then archived for long-term storage. S3 1 zone IA offers the best cost-effective solution for infrequently accessed data. Since the lowest cost is desired here, we can overlook the resilience model offered by high-availability storage solutions. After 6 months, data can be moved to Glacier for archival purposes. Option A is incorrect, since it is not advisable to store data in S3 standard, that is, not frequently accessed. S3 standard will incur higher cost for this scenario. Option C is incorrect. S3 standard IA is more cost effective than its S3 standard counterpart for infrequently accessed data, but we do not select it as the best available option compared to the pricing of S3 1 zone IA, which offers a 20% subsidized cost compared to S3 standard IA. Option D is incorrect because Glacier offers a way to store archival data rather than storing it. for frequent or infrequent access. Also, expedited retrieval costs are greater than S01. Question 119. Having many resources on AWS, your company is interested in a machine learning driven and proactive security solution that can quickly identify security vulnerabilities, particularly by flagging suspicious or abnormal data patterns or activity among AWS services. What would be the best AWS service to meet this requirement? And the options are A. AWS Shield, B. AWS Guard Duty, C. Amazon Anomaly Detection, D. AWS Detective. And the correct answer is option D. AWS Detective. Explanation. AWS Detective is a persistent machine learning driven service that automatically collects log data from all AWS resources. This log data is then applied into machine learning algorithms to derive data patterns between AWS services and resources, graph theory, and statistical analysis. This information allows the user to proactively visualize their AWS environment from a security standpoint, thereby allowing them to quickly and efficiently conduct security investigations when they occur. Option A is incorrect because AWS Shield is a distributed denial of service DDoS protection service that applies to applications running in the AWS environment. The service does not have machine learning capability to keep track of data behaviors between AWS services. Option B is incorrect because Amazon Guard Duty is a continuous security monitoring service that analyzes and processes the following data sources: VPC flow logs, AWS CloudTrail management event logs, CloudTrail S3 data event logs, EKS audit logs, and DNS logs. It uses threat intelligence feeds such as list of malicious IP addresses and domains and machine learning to identify unexpected and potentially unauthorized and malicious activity within your AWS environment. Option C is incorrect because Amazon CloudWatch anomaly detection is a machine learning feature limited to Amazon CloudWatch metrics. It does not extend to all the AWS services, so it does not meet the requirement. Next question. When designing a system, you use the principle of design for failure. Which of the following features and services of AWS can contribute to supporting this design principle? Select 3 options. And the options are A. Availability zones, B. Reasons, C. Elastic load balancer, D. Pay as you go. And the correct answers are option A. Availability zones, B. Reasons, and option C. Elastic load balancer. Explanation. Designing for failure means that you have automated processes in place for when your system fails, in addition to having as much control as possible over how this failure occurs. A system designed for failure is more capable of self-healing, restarting, and maintaining service when the worst happens. Each AZ is a set of one or more data centers. By deploying your AWS resources to multiple availability zones, you are designing with failure in mind. So, if one AZ were to go down, the other AZs would still be up and running. Hence, your application would be more fault tolerant. For disaster recovery scenarios, one can move or make resources run in other regions. And finally, one can use the elastic load balancer to distribute load to multiple backend instances within a particular region. Option D is incorrect. Pay-as-you-go concept indicate the flexibility, not the fault tolerance. Option E is incorrect. EC2 alone cannot provide the fault tolerance. Next question. Which of the following is not an advantage of using the AWS cloud? And the options are A. The AWS cloud offers a pay-as-you-go model to treat capital expense for variable expense. B. The AWS cloud offers a scale-on-demand model to eliminate wasted capacity. C. The AWS cloud gives complete control of security to its users so that they can replicate the data center security model on the cloud. D. AWS cloud frees the users from spending time and money for maintaining their data centers. And the correct answer is option C. The AWS cloud gives complete control of security to its users so that they can replicate their data center security model on the cloud. Explanation. AWS adopts a shared responsibility model where security and compliance responsibility is shared between the client and AWS. This shared responsibility security model helps relieve the client of operational burden as AWS operates, manages and controls the components from the host operating system and virtualization layer down to the physical security of its facilities. The client can effectively manage the security of his applications and the infrastructure in which it resides. AWS also helps customers to understand their robust controls in place to maintain security and compliance in the cloud through their compliance certifications, that is PCI DSS compliance. Option A is incorrect. Instead of heavily investing in data centers and servers for hosting their applications, clients can consume resources from the AWS cloud, that is compute, storage, and only pay for the resources they have consumed. So, capital expenditure gets converted into operational expenditure, while using a cloud environment that results in cost efficiency for the client. Option B is incorrect. The AWS cloud model helps eliminating to guest infrastructure capacity needs by offering a scale-on-demand model. For example, during Christmas, when there is a sudden increase in website traffic, additional resources like EC2 can be created on demand scale-up to address the surge in traffic. Similarly, when the festival period goes away, the additional resources that were created can be terminated, scaled down, so that the user does not need to pay for idle resources. Option D is incorrect. AWS Cloud allows clients to focus on their projects that differentiate their business rather than maintaining infrastructure. AWS performs all the heavy lifting of maintaining facilities, data centers. Next question. Which of the following features in AWS does not belong to the well-architected framework pillars? And the options are: A. AWS provides the ability to protect information, systems, and assets. B. AWS provides the ability to configure servers with much more CPU resources than required so that users do not need to maintain the CPU resources for a long time. C. AWS provides the ability to avoid or eliminate unneeded cost. D. AWS provides the ability to recover from infrastructure or system failures. And the correct answer is option B. AWS provides the ability to configure servers with much more CPU resources than required so that the users do not need to maintain the CPU resources for a long time. Explanation. Configuring much more CPU resources than required is not appropriate in a cloud environment such as AWS. This method is not cost efficient as well. The AWS well-architected framework is based on the 5 pillars: security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and operational excellence. Option A is incorrect, since it belongs to the security pillar of the AWS well-architected framework. Option C is incorrect, since it belongs to the cost optimization pillar of the AWS well-architected framework. Option D is incorrect, since it belongs to the reliability pillar of the AWS well-architected framework. Next question. Which of the following is the responsibility of AWS according to the shared security model? Select 3 options. And the options are: A. Managing AWS identity and access management. B. Securing edge locations. C. Monitoring physical device security. D. Implementing service organization control standards. And the correct answers are option B. Securing edge locations. C. Monitoring physical device security. And option D. Implementing service organization control standards. Explanation. The responsibility of AWS includes the following. Number 1. Securing edge locations. Number 2. Monitoring physical device security. Number 3. Implementing service optimization control standards. Next question. Your company has just started using the resources on the AWS cloud. They wanted to set an alert if the cost exceeds certain threshold. What AWS tool can they use? And the options are A. Amazon EC2 dashboard. Here you can see the cost and set alerts. B. By using AWS Cost Explorer. C. By using the AWS Trusted Advisor dashboard. This dashboard will give you all the cost and can set alerts. D. By using the AWS budget. And the correct answer is option D. By using AWS budget. Explanation. AWS budgets lets you set custom cost and uses budgets that alert you when your budget thresholds are exceeded or forecasted to exceed. Option A is incorrect. Amazon EC2 dashboard does not provide any cost projections. Option B is incorrect. Cost Explorer is a free tool that you can use to view your cost, but you can't set alerts. You can view data up to the last 12 months and 12 months forecast how much you are likely to spend for the next 3 months and get recommendations for what reserved instances to purchase. Option C is incorrect. AWS Trusted Advisor dashboard only provides recommendations on best practices. Next question. How does Amazon Connect help to improve customer engagement on AWS cloud? And the options are A. By providing push notification. B. By providing high quality audio. C. By providing mailbox simulator. D. By providing reputation dashboard. And the correct answer is option B. By providing high quality audio. Explanation. Amazon Connect is an omni-channel cloud contact center which can be set up easily and low cost. It has following features which helps to provide customers a superior service. Number 1. Telephone as a service. Number 2. High quality audio. 3. Omni-channel routing. 4. Web and mobile chat. 5. Task management. 6. Contact center automation. 7. Rules engine. Option A is incorrect, as push notification is not a feature of Amazon Connect. It's one of the features of Amazon Pinpoint. Option C is incorrect, as mailbox simulator is not a feature of Amazon Connect. It's one of the features of Amazon SES. Option D is incorrect, as reputation dashboard is not a feature of Amazon Connect. It's one of the features of Amazon SES. Next question. Your company plans to host an application on Amazon Web Services. The following is one of their main non-functional requirements. Reduce interdependencies so failures won't affect other components. Which of the following concepts does this requirement relate to? And the options are A. Integration. B. Decoupling. C. Aggregation. D. Segregation. And the correct answer is option B. Decoupling. Explanation. The entire concept of decoupling components ensures that the different components of applications can be managed and maintained separately. If all components are tightly coupled, the entire application would go down when one component goes down. Hence, it is always a better practice to decouple application components. Next question. Which of the following can be used to improve the fault tolerance of an application? And the options are A. Deploying resources across multiple edge locations. B. Deploying resources across multiple VPCs. C. Deploying resources across multiple availability zones. D. Deploying resources across multiple AWS accounts. And the correct answer is option C. Deploying resources across multiple availability zones. Explanation. Each AZ is a set of one or more data centers. By deploying your AWS resources to multiple availability zones, you are designing with failure in mind. So, if one AZ were to go down, the other AZs would still be up and running. Hence, your application would be more fault tolerant. Option A is incorrect. You cannot deploy resources in the edge locations. Option B is incorrect. VPC is a logical firewall. Deploying resources across multiple VPCs will not improve the availability. Option D is incorrect. If the multiple accounts are in the same region, all will be impacted in a region-wide outage. Hence, this option cannot be considered to improve the availability. Next question. Which of the following security requirements are managed by AWS? Select 3 options. And the options are A. Password policies, B. User permissions, C. Physical security, D. Disk disposal, E. Hardware patching. And the correct answers are option C. Physical security, option D. Disk disposal, and E. Hardware patching. Explanation. As per the shared responsibility model, the patching of the underlying hardware and physical security of AWS resources is the responsibility of AWS. Storage device decommissioning. When a storage device has reached the end of its useful life, AWS procedures include a decommissioning process designed to prevent customer data from being exposed to unauthorized individuals. AWS uses the techniques detailed in DoD 5220.22m, National Industrial Security Program Operating Manual, or NIST 80088, Guidelines for Media Sanitization, to destroy data as part of the decommissioning process. All decommissioned magnetic storage devices are degaussed and physically destroyed in accordance with industry standard practices. Option A is incorrect. Password policies are the responsibility of the customer. Option B is incorrect. The customer is responsible for configuring user permissions. Next question. Which of the following is not one of the pillars of the well-architected framework? And the options are A. Automation, B. Cost optimization, C. Reliability, D. Performance efficiency. And the correct answer is option A. Automation. Explanation. As per AWS well-architected framework, the following are the 6 pillars. Number 1. Operational excellence. Number 2. Security. Number 3. Reliability. Number 4. Performance efficiency. Number 5. Cost optimization. Number 6. Sustainability. Automation is not part of AWS well-architected framework pillars. Options B, C, and D are incorrect, as these are part of 5 pillars of AWS well-architected framework. Next question. An organization plans to implement advanced protection for its applications running on EC2, ELB, and Route 53 resources, so that it can obtain near real-time visibility into the attacks and proactively prevent sophisticated DDoS attacks. Which AWS service would you suggest? And the options are A. AWS Shield Standard, B. AWS Shield Advanced, C. AWS Firewall Manager, D. AWS WAF Web Application Firewall. And the correct answer is option B. AWS Shield Advanced. Explanation. AWS Shield Advanced protects applications on EC2, ELB, CloudFront, Global Accelerator, and Route 53 resources. So, near real-time visibility into the attacks could be obtained and sophisticated DDoS attacks could be prevented. Option A is incorrect. AWS Shield Standard helps prevent DDoS attacks that occur commonly and target websites or applications on the transport and network layer. When used in conjunction with Route 53 and CloudFront, protection is assured against all known Layer 3 and Layer 4 attacks. AWS Shield Standard is free. Option C is incorrect. AWS Firewall Manager helps convenient implementation of compliance and simplifies the firewall rules management across AWS accounts. Option D is incorrect. AWS WAF offers prevention for APIs and web applications from unavailability, security compromise, increased resources consumption. Next question. Your company needs a distributed tracing service to analyze and debug production distributed applications such as those built using microservices architecture. Which AWS service would be appropriate? And the options are A. AWS CloudTrail, B. AWS config, C. AWS X-ray, D. AWS glue. And the correct answer is option C. AWS X-ray. Explanation. AWS X-ray helps developers analyze and debug production distributed applications such as those built using a microservices architecture. With X-ray, you can understand how your application and its underlying services are performing to identify and troubleshoot the root cause of performance issues and errors. Option A is incorrect. AWS CloudTrail cannot be used as a distributed tracing service. AWS CloudTrail is a service that helps you enable governance, compliance, and operational and risk auditing of your AWS account. Actions taken by a user role or an AWS service are recorded as events in CloudTrail. Option B is incorrect. AWS Config is a service that enables you to assess, audit, and evaluate the configurations of your AWS resources. Config continuously monitors and records your AWS resource configurations and allows you to automate the evaluation of recorded configurations against desired configurations. Option D is incorrect. AWS Glue automates much of the effort required for data integration. AWS Glue crawls your data sources, identities, data formats, and suggests schemas to store your data. It automatically generates the code to run your data transformations and loading processes. Next question. Which AWS service is not permitted for penetration testing? And the options are A. Amazon RDS, B. Amazon CloudFront, C. Amazon Route 53, D. AWS Lambda. And the correct answer is option C. Amazon Route 53. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner CLF-C01 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.